Hello again, welcome back everyone. It's been a long time. We are looking at a new chain and sprocket install today. I've been putting this off for a while, had other maintenance to do, and then I've just been riding as well. So I recently came back from a ride, and we can't really see it here, but we'll see. There's actually a nail stuck down in there, so I've got to get a new rear tire. I don't want to plug this one. I'm just gonna swap it out after. I think I've got about 3,500 miles on this Metzler. Yeah, so we're just gonna put a new one on, and in the downtime, new chain and sprockets. Well overdue, because I'm pretty sure this is stock, and I'm just pushing 20,000 miles. So we'll see how that goes. Haven't done one on a street bike in a long time. It's mostly just been dirt bikes, race bikes, that sort of thing. Smaller chains, but this should be okay. The oddity on this, if you've got a Hypermotard, Hyperstrada, is this sprocket is part of this. Well, it's a special sprocket from Ducati that fits on this little hub, and they're pretty dear sprockets, and you have to pull everything off to swap it out. So what I did was went online to Sprocket Center and ordered a Quick-Change Sprocket kit with the chain. So that's this guy here, and we've got a DID VX3 gold chain that we're going to put on. What else? Yeah, just some things to make sure I had a flat, and sure enough I got a flat. So the other tools we're going to have for this is, well, old school Dremel. We're going to grind off a couple rivets to get the chain off. I actually have a smaller, these are really designed for more like a 520 chain breaker, but I think if I can get those rivets grinded down, that may work. If not, I've got the Motion Pro set, and part of this I'll need anyway to install the new chain link and rivet. And I've just got some other tools out here. Used to use this to set the new connecting link on. And since we're going to be putting new chain and getting everything off, we've got a tool for chain tensioning on this. So I'm going to throw all this into one video, along with lubrication of the shaft and cleaning up a few things. And I thought, even while I'm down here, every now and then my rear brake gets a little squishy, so I'm gonna bleed this guy, and I'm gonna show you how I bleed it on the back, because it's essentially sort of upside down, and in the position it's fixed when you're riding. So we're going to pull the caliper off on the rear and put it up top, just temporarily while it's in the garage, and then bleed it that way, and then get some good feel back on the rear brakes. So that's where we're starting today. Chain and sprocket is sort of the main in focus. Sprockets, the other front sprocket is under here. One thing I noticed, and it looked like from online, is once you get this little plastic cover off, the gear shifter needs to come off, and this I don't know what you would call this piece of frame for the foot pegs. Doesn't necessarily have to come completely off, but it needs to be able to swivel to get this out of the way to pull the front sprocket off. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. You know, step by step as usual. Should be good. I think I've got everything, and I'll probably video taking the wheel off as well sometime, just to show you anybody that needs to know how to do that quick, since I've got to swap the tire out here pretty soon. And I think that's the bulk of what we're doing now. So thanks for coming back, and I'll try to make things as short and concise as I can, and probably break it up into a couple videos, but we'll see how it goes. So onward. Thanks. Okay, so now we are going to work on getting the front sprocket at least exposed, maybe off. Probably just exposed first. So we're going to take this cover off, and probably the gear shifter, move wires out of the way, and then I'm not real clear on how this foot peg mount works exactly, but once we get in there a little bit, it should become apparent. For doing this, looks like you mostly need some hex tools, and then maybe 4, 5, 6 millimeters. So I've got sort of an assortment of these guys down here. So let's see how this goes. So we move these wire out of the way. That goes down under there as well, so we'll just move it out of the way up top for the moment, and then get some of this off. Let's start with the gear shifter. Make sure you catch or pick up all the washers that are bound to fall off from behind. Looks like this might have had some Loctite in it at one time, which is probably a good idea. And then we'll lube everything nice and good, putting it back together, clean it up. But I'm going to pull everything as far apart as I can so we can clean it good. I've got some wire brushes and things I'll use for this. And we're going to leave the linkage as it is so we don't have to readjust anything. So we'll pull this guy off next. Looks like I need a wrench for behind there. So that was a 6mm for this larger shifter bolt. This guy here is a 5mm, and then these that hold this cover around here are 4mm. We'll kind of keep this stuff together. A lot of these looked like they had red Loctite on them, as well as the gear shift holder, so that's kind of interesting. That they would put red on and that it would, I guess, break free as easy as it does, but that's good for us. I don't know, I'll think it over, decide whether I want red or blue back on. I guess red makes sense, but if you're going to do maintenance, I don't know. Although I can say that these are some things you do not want falling off. I had a gear shifter fall off once in our off-road race, hare scramble, down outside of Colorado Springs. Turns out that without a gear shifter, it makes things a little tricky, especially off-road. When you're stuck in whatever gear you were in when your shifter fell off. Anyway, kind of dirty stuff here. Probably built up after however old this guy is now and 20,000 miles. Try to get in here at some point off camera and clean all this up before I do much of an install, reinstall. Yeah, so from here we got the cover off. I'm gonna have to bend this little flange out to get to the nut that holds the sprocket on. I'm not sure if I'll want to use an impact on that or just brace the rear wheel and break it free. I'll try to just break it free first. And then what can we do to move this guy out? That's the next little trick, I think, because I'm not sure that that will... There's space in here, but the spline sticks out so far. I don't believe that this sprocket will actually be able to slide off this spline with this here. So I'm gonna get a flashlight, dig around a little bit right now and come right back. Okay, so we've run into a bit of an issue. Because because this piece of frame that holds the foot pegs on needs to rotate out of the way to get the sprocket off. It is a supporting piece of the center stand, which in my case is holding the bike up. So what we're going to do is we're going to borrow or pick up a front fork stand to lift the front up, and that should give it some stability, enough stability that I can work on this briefly while folding the center stand back up and not relying on it as my main support. So we'll see how that goes. I think if I do that, I've also got a jack that I can place under here with like a little 2x4 piece to give it a little more stability. And it's not like I'll be working on it very long, but the other piece kind of issue with that, and the reason I'm going to do that, is because if you look down here, let's see where this is, if it shows up on camera, this bolt is backing out of the center stand, which, going back to the comments on the red Loctite, this probably needs some. So if I can unload this center stand with a front, maybe a rear stand, I don't know. I think I can do it just the front, but we'll unload that and worry about getting the sprocket off after we do a few other things. So right now, this piece, this little washer that's folded down, I've kind of got the screwdriver sort of pried it up here just to start it. We need it pretty flat against the sprocket so we can break this nut free here. So what I've got is a hammer and a punch, and I was just going to get in here and kind of tap this guy flat. It's pretty malleable. It bends easy, so we can kind of flatten that out right there. So easy enough. And then we'll break this free. And I think what we're going to do too is, while everything's still on here and I'm going to brace this wheel, I'm going to break these nuts free on the rear sprocket as well, just so they're easier to mess with once I pull everything off. So anyway, that's the plan for now. So yeah, next step, got to get the right sockets, and I'll be back momentarily.